Closing is always easy when you're in Cardone U. We role play with Grant Cardone's team. They know just what to do. They're always there to support us. We couldn't ask for more. On our way in the right direction, we found what we're looking for. In FLC, in FLC. Closing is better with appointment setters. You'd better believe we're not a team but a family. We work together in harmony. We are devoted, on that you can quote me, in FLC.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the FLC Hangout where your freedom lifestyle begins. I am so excited. We have a really special guest today, Andrea in the house. Thank you so much for being here. You've been in the community for a while now, and then we've known each other for I think about a year now, and I am so excited to have you. This woman is amazing, so stick around. Before we get into it, by the way, make sure you're following us all on Instagram. They're on the screens now. They're in the descriptions below. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, give this video a share if you feel like it would help anyone, your friends, your family, your pets, whoever. Share this video, give it a like, hit the subscribe button, follow us on Instagram. With all that being said, without further ado, Misty, over to you.
Thank you, Josie. It is so good to see you again. It's like, hello.
Long time no see.
Right? I love it. It's so awesome. Thank you. Andrea, welcome to the FLC Hangout. We're so excited to have you here and to be able to talk to you and just kind of hang out and chill and have a beautiful conversation. So Josie knows of, like she said, has known you for a while. I have not had that honor. So, and I know maybe a lot of our subscribers and our viewers haven't had that honor as well. So would you mind introducing yourself and just kind of giving us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing?
Yes, thank you so much for this amazing introduction. I feel we're still like on that Project 1 Million energy hype, right? And I'm so afraid that this is happening right after. So amazing. Yes, thank you for this introduction. And if I can, I just want to thank you for this incredible opportunity, and first and foremost for all the videos that you do and all the work that you put into sharing all these amazing stories, not just of other people, but also yourself, from your life. And I know you know that people appreciate you and the work that you do, but I don't know if you realize how much of a positive impact you have on people's lives. Like, literally watching your videos gives me goosebumps, like now each time around. And I have these aha moments, and it's so transforming. And I just want to thank you for that. It's priceless. So yeah.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Awesome.
Really means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, I can if I can now share just what I do.
Absolutely.
Josie and Misty. So my name's Andrea. I come from Slovenia, and I am a spiritual life coach that helps people reconnect, rediscover, and redefine their life. Basically, with other words, I help people step by step reveal their purpose and then live their life, living their dream, their calling, right? So yeah, that's what I do.
Amazing. And this is actually really fitting, right, Misty? Because we've just been talking a little bit about purpose and like finding your purpose, having a purpose. So I love this. This is so exciting. This is like, the timing is great. And like you said, we're still on that high from our Project 1 Million, which, by the way, if anyone isn't watching, you don't know what this Project 1 Million is, reach out to us, ask us about it. If you want to learn how to make 1 million in 1 year, reach out to us. We'll tell you all about it. But that's not for this episode. This is really cool. So with this, I want to ask first of all, actually, what's your kind of backstory like? Like, did you have a time where you were struggling finding your purpose or like living that life, and how did you get over that, and now that you can actually help other people do that?
Yeah, thanks for asking. If I can ask you a question, like have you guys ever felt like, stuck or lost or depressed, or like you were going from one point to the other and nothing made sense? You were nothing was fulfilling you, nothing had any meaning. Have you ever felt like that in your life? Yeah. Well, I also felt like that for more than 30 years, and there was nothing that I wished more than to find my calling, to know why I was here. I wanted to be that happy person who knew exactly why he was here, where he was going, who was successful and happy and rich inside and out, And you know how it is with wishes and manifestation. If you wish something long enough and hard enough, the universe always delivers, right? So I got my wish, and the universe sent me a gift, right? And this gift was, well, it was a bit different than one would expect. However, it was definitely something that helped me reveal my purpose, right? So what happened was, just briefly, I was 9 months pregnant, right? Imagine this, you're with a big belly and you're super excited for the baby to come out, and you are gonna experience all the bliss and the magic that come with the newborn, right? And then you give birth to that child and you die, and you experience all the hell you never knew existed, right? And after that experience, I had like very severe panic attacks, and I had a few nervous breakdowns, and I just basically got to a point where I couldn't do it anymore, and I wanted to give up, right? Somehow, at just at the last minute, I found my why that kind of pushed me to get through the worst and help me survive, and here we are. So in order for me to get from that like very like really the bottom, the darkest place you can ever imagine, I needed to do many things, right? So the first one was to like bring into awareness that the problem is not outside, it's not other people, but it's me, right? So I want to take this opportunity and just say that, a nervous breakdown is such a blessing, because it allows you to let go of your ego completely. And that is, at that moment, you realize that, oh, okay, so the problem is me, but I have the power to solve that problem. And that is so powerful. And that is something that I'm really grateful for, although the experience itself is not as pleasant. Okay, so the next thing I needed to do was, of course, like correct my inner dialogue, right? Because when somebody, your inner voice keeps telling you, go kill yourself, it's only that amount of times that you can hear that before you go crazy, right? So I needed to do something quickly about that. And then another thing was I needed to find a way to manage all those emotions that were coming to the surface, like rage and despair and guilt and all that, right? And as I did that, that helped me reconnect to my true self. So I found who I truly was. And by doing so, my purpose revealed itself, right? And then after years of recovery, I started also looking for scientific explanations why some of the things that I did or the exercises that I did helped me and why others did not. And so I had now the experience and also the understanding, and I put all that in a program that I help people with today.
Wow. Wow, yeah. Who? Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Honestly, like it's and sorry, Misty, I went in there, but I really you mentioned something and I was like, yes, it's taking that responsibility, like, hey, no, I'm the problem. And it doesn't have to be a sense of I'm the problem, I'm a bad person, I'm this, like, oh my God, like, why did I do this? No, that's not it. It's taking that responsibility of, hey, I'm in this situation. I'm the only one that can get me out of it. No one's gonna, Misty says, your dreams aren't gonna come knocking at your door. It's the same thing. No one's gonna come. Yes, outside people can help, talking to people can help, but ultimately it's you that needs to get yourself out of the situation. That I'm talking to anyone, I'm talking to you watching right now. It's it's you, and it's not this, it's like I said, it's not the case of it's your fault. No, but it is your responsibility to get yourself out there. But the good thing with this is that once you take that responsibility, once you realize, hey, it's me, myself, and I'm the only one that can make myself get worse, and I'm the only one that can make myself get better. That's so freeing because suddenly you're like, hey, I am in control. I can change this. So the moment you take that responsibility and say, hey, it's not your, it might not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. And then it's like, oh my God, I'm in control. I can change this. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what you did. You went and changed it. And now through doing that, and like you said, it's not a nice thing to go through. And I want to say thank you for sharing it with us too. And like people have these stories of their backstory before they actually got to where they are. And it's not nice. And it would be much nicer if everyone could actually get to the success without having to go through these things. But it really teaches you a lot, and it's through that that you found your purpose, and it's often through that then that other people can find their purpose. I think that's really powerful with what you're helping people with too. Like people can go to you with these backstories and you can help them realize, hey, this is actually a blessing in disguise. And that might be like, wait, what do you mean? Like I'm going through all this, like I'm going through this, I'm anxious, I'm on the verge of like being homeless, whatever it is. But actually it can be a blessing in disguise. And yeah,
It's
so
all
that's
about perspective, right? So, I mean, like from where I started and where I am today, I mean, I had a dead child then, I still don't have that child now, but it's my perspective has changed, which also changed. I mean, before I was suffering and now I'm no longer suffering. So that is the perspective is what helps frees us. And like you said, responsibility, freedom equals responsibility, right? So yeah, you can take the smallest step, but it will get you to where you want to be for sure, as long as you keep going, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's very powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say thank you. Thank you for not only being here, but being strong enough to be vulnerable with us and to share your story and to allow us um, in that aspect, because what you have been through and what you are doing now is so powerful and so life-changing for so many people. You were just commenting about Josie and I and how we make videos and how we're always seem to be out there and how we impact other people. But you being so vulnerable and being willing to be out there and be strong enough to say, hey, this is what happened to me. This is what I went through. This is how I changed that. and this is what I'm doing now to help other people change that as well. That's so amazing and so powerful that it's hard to put into words. But because I have not been in the exact same position you are in, but I have been in that position where I've wanted to, off myself, or I've wanted to do that, and I've wanted to do that several times. I had it planned out. I knew when, where, why, how, who would find me. I knew everything. I've done that several times. And it's the knowing and recognizing, hey, okay, like Josie said, this is my responsibility. This is me. Nobody else is going to come and save me. It's recognizing, hey, this is an issue. This is what's going on. I don't like this. This is not normal. This is not something that should be happening. Okay, I don't like this. How can I change this now? What responsibility? I think recognizing that it is your responsibility and that you can change it is difficult. I don't think those are easy things to be able to recognize and to take on and start taking action towards. I think those are difficult things because we're always trying to look at things from an outside view, even though we're the ones looking at ourselves. I think we're trying to look at it from an outside view, and as if we were somebody else looking at us, like, oh, you're crazy and you're this. We're that self-talk. And so I think when we're evaluating ourselves and thinking about, okay, I can take responsibility for this. Okay, how do I take responsibility for this? And what responsibility am I taking? Okay, now I've got that. How can I change that now? And then recognizing that we do have that ability and that is within our control to change all of that, I think is also something very difficult, because most people don't realize that even though your brain is in your head and it's controlling your body, you're the one that controls what it's doing and what it's thinking. You're the one that controls all of that. It doesn't just control everything else. You have a hand in that. You have a part in all of that, and being able to, I just know for me, when it dawned on me that, hey, I'm in control of how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking, that took a long time, and that was a hard thing to learn, because I always wanted to put that blame off onto other people, excuses off onto other things or outside sources. It wasn't me, it was everything else. This is why this is happening. That's why this is happening. It wasn't my fault. I didn't do this. And like Josie says, it's not your fault, but we can't put the blame or excuses on something else externally when it's us. And we have to really evaluate and recognize that and look inward and say, okay, what triggered this? What happened to cause this? Why did that happen? And how is this making me feel? And what are the causes of this? And how can I change that? I think that is really hard for some people to recognize. It shouldn't be, but I think because we're always looking at ourselves from an outside point of view, as opposed to internally, I think it's pretty difficult. And I want to congratulate you on the growth and the amazing change, and where you're at now is absolutely phenomenal. And I think it should be commended. You should be recognized for that. You did an amazing job. Look how far you've come. You are absolutely beautiful inside and out. You are completely changed your life, and where you are is incredibly amazing. And you should celebrate that, and you should be celebrated. You did an amazing job, and I want to congratulate you. Like, sincerely, congratulations, because that was hard work, and it's a hard road and can be a long road. Now, it is something that has to continue on for the rest of our lives, right? When we start doing that, because it's easy to fall back into that bad, negative position. So it's an ongoing, constant, everyday fight. For me, it's an everyday battle. Like, okay, I don't want to be that way. I've got to. And that's partially because I'm surrounded by so much negativity, and it's a bad joke, probably a bad place to put the joke. But I was talking to my sister one day and we were talking about our blood types. And she's an A positive. I'm O negative. And I said something to her and she said, yeah, but we always got to be positive. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of hard for me because negativity runs in my blood. You know, it's just, like I said, it's a bad joke, but it's something I have to deal with on a daily basis, and I will continue to do that throughout my life. And that's just, and I have to look at it as if it's not a bad thing that I have to deal with that. I get to continue growing and learning from it and becoming even better. And I just wanted to, like I said, congratulate you and really commend you on the growth and the change you've already done and how far you've come, because I think that's so important. You've done a lot of hard work and you did absolutely amazing. And we're so grateful you did it. We are so grateful you're here and you did all of it. You are incredibly amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. This really hit home, you know, because, well, I noted down a few things because this was very deep what you just shared. I realized talking to people after, you know, I've had these experiences, that we don't have to experience, I don't know, rape or lose a child, or, you know, it can be like a divorce, or it can be, I don't know, your best friend moves out of country. That can get you to that pit hole you cannot find a way out. Okay. So that's one thing I wanted to stress, because sometimes we are like, you know, it's so easy to judge, right? We are like, aha, well, you know, you only had a divorce. Well, I mean, of course you're gonna pick yourself up and continue, right? But we have no idea what that person is going through internally, right? And he might be on the verge of committing suicide, like you said. And the second thing I want to stress, thank you for sharing that. These videos that you do are so powerful because of because we are talking about the subjects that nobody talks about, right? And the question of suicide is like, do you know how more people would be alive if only they knew how to express their feelings? They just didn't have, at that moment where they needed, they just didn't have anyone to talk to, and they didn't know how to express the pain that they were going through, right? So that's why there's so much power in sharing this, because yeah. And another thing I wanted to say is that when you were talking about mind control, yes, we can control it, but we can only control it when we are awake. So we have to be in that awakened state. We have to wake up so that we are aware of ourselves. So, you know, as if you were watching yourself as a third person. So what's going on? What are my thoughts? You know, and only then, only that is a foundation for change. If you're not awake, a change is not going to happen, because you're still in that, you know, blame it on others, and it's all black, and you can't see it. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I have that special power. Do you know what that is? That people open up within minutes of knowing me about their deepest fears. And thank you so much. I know how difficult that must have been for you, because I was there myself, not once, many times as well. And this is so important. It's so important. It's probably one of the most important videos you have ever made. Just because you shared what you did. No, really, I'm joking, but I'm not, okay? Because one day somebody who needs to hear this is gonna hear this, and you're gonna save a life. So that's what
Yeah.
we're here for, right? That's why we push through. And yeah, I mean, we all inspire by example, right? I mean, everybody has their own story, and you know, it's an inspiration to somebody. So if that is how we
This
can
reminds me of,
continue,
oh, go ahead.
please.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say this reminds me of two stories that I've heard before from other people, and I'm not exactly remembering who told me, but one was that, and I think one was from Chibaria, where she was saying that um, she was someplace and somebody had told her that something like they had told her she had just smiled at them or something else, something like that one time. And that person had already planned on going home and they were going to commit suicide. And because that somebody smiled at that person, that changed their entire life and saved them just from that one smile. And then the other one was I've had friends that were Jehovah's Witnesses, and they would go knocking door to door. And they knocked on this door one time, and it took a little bit, but they kept knocking. And this person answered, and they're like, yeah, can I help you? And they're like, we just were checking in on you and wanted to share, the good news and whatever. But they looked behind that person through the doorway and they saw a rope hanging. That person was getting ready to kill themselves. And that person, when they opened the door and they started sharing what they had to share with him, started crying. You just saved my life, because I was going to use that. I was just about ready to get up there and use that when you knocked on my door. So, and I stress a lot, and I know we've talked about it here, and I know other people say it, but you never know what you say or do that can save somebody else's life, right? Because you don't know what they're going through. And I think that more people need to be aware of how to. I'm not saying that you need to walk on eggshells around everybody. That's not what I'm saying at all. But you need to be kinder to people. You can't just walk around with all this negativity and then expect other people to be okay with that, because it just doesn't work that way. You have to smile at people. Back in the old days, you used to walk down the street and be able to smile at somebody. It didn't mean anything negative. You weren't going to stalk them or try to hurt them in any way. It was a smile, for goodness sakes. And now if you smile at somebody, they think you're creepy and you're up to something. Well, that's not what it's about. So I think that what you're doing is absolutely incredible. And yeah, just get back to being nice to people, because you never know what kind of situation they're in and what they need, or what you have to offer to them, say, or even smile at them or whatever. Just even being present can save their life.
That's really important. I'm glad you said that, because yes, absolutely. Also, sorry. Oh, bless. My cat just jumped down from the ledge and it really scared me. Also, what I was trying to say, be nice to yourself. Be nice to yourself. I actually just this morning and we're honest on this podcast. We're honest, we're open, we tell the truth about business and all this. Just this morning, I woke up feeling not great. I mean, last night didn't have the best day yesterday, and it's easy to get in that flump, not feel great. Went to bed not feeling great, woke up not feeling great. And I was talking to my cat this morning. I was making breakfast, I was making her breakfast, and I was just talking out loud. And I was like, you know what, Kimmy, it's okay to not feel great, is it? And I was just talking to her, and I was like, I didn't have a great day yesterday, but you know what? That's okay. And people go through this. Why I'm saying this is, very honestly, I was talking to my cat this morning about that. But what what I want people to realize is it's okay to not feel okay. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to be in those places. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't, sometimes your mind lies to you, right? Like if I think about it, was my day yesterday really that bad? No, I just maybe I'd had a couple bad calls, or I had like this happened, this didn't go my way. Was it that bad, or is my mind making it so much worse? And a lot of the time, your mind makes it so much worse, and you lie. It lies to you. Like you said, Misty, it creates these thoughts, but ultimately you're the one that controls that. Like, oh, hey, wait, hang on, catch that. Is that true? Is this actually true? No, throw it away. But what I'm trying to say is it's okay to feel like that. Let yourself go through that. Let yourself be like that. Let yourself cry. If you need to cry it out, cry it out. If you need to talk to your cat in the morning, talk to your cat in the morning. It made me feel better. But yeah, I just wanted to say that as well. Be kind to yourself and remind yourself. It's really easy to forget. Remind yourself it's okay. Everyone goes through that. Everyone has these bad flumps and these thunks and wakes up feeling shitty. It's okay. But you're in control of how the rest of your day goes, you know? And that's sometimes easier said than done. I know. I know it is. But yeah, what it kind of some of your guys is, let's say you wake up, you feel, oh, shitty. What's the first thing you do to try and raise that energy? Do you have any like tips and tricks, either of you?
Misty,
ahead.
go ahead.
Okay.
Too kind. You're too
Well-
kind.
Yeah. So when I wake up that way, one thing I do is I always turn to FLC, the core family, or even FLC period, the Facebook group. Because I know that if I'm having a bad day, they're not, and there I can feed off of their energy, and they will give me motivation and make me feel uplifted. The core family, every time I see meet with somebody in the core family, if I say something negative, they always stop me. Hey, no, Misty, wait, let's not do that. Let's say that again, but in a different way. Say it in a positive way. So they call me out on it and they help me to stay positive. But also, I will listen to uplifting music, something upbeat that I can dance to or sing to, because that releases the endorphins and I can just kind of get myself out of that. Or I'll exercise. And I talk to my dogs too. I live alone, so I talk to my dogs. Or every once in a while, I'll catch myself talking to my plants. So, some of the best conversations I have are with myself. So I just go for it. I used to write stuff down, but then I got to where I didn't like leaving it around because other people would read it. So I quit doing that. But I find other ways to make myself uplifted and better. So what about you, Andrea?
What helps me most and what have saved me again and again is going into the woods. I take my shoes off, winter, spring, doesn't matter, and I just walk. I go. It's the most freeing and the most everything goes in the earth takes all the stress and and then I talk to, the higher whatever it is, or just listen to the silence. That is what helps me get through the worst. And also now that I have my daughter, she's just, children are so pure, and no matter what you are going through, they feel it. And she knows exactly whenever I am like feeling down, and she'd be like, "Oh, mommy, how are you?" She's 2.5. "How are you doing? I love you so much." It's like, where did you get that? But it's like, so yeah, you can't put a price on that, right? And I just want to say one more thing. Josie, you said it's okay not to be okay and how it's okay to cry. That's the key. That's the key. That is so powerful because I mean, I see now with my daughter as well. If she starts crying and I tell her, well, sure, cry if you need to, for as long as you need to. Does it hurt? No, no, no. She will stop right away. Why? Because I have just given her space to express her feelings. I think you were speaking about this with one of the yogi teachers in one of your previous FLC hangouts. But it's true, if we have the space where we can express our pain, whatever, it may be, or it's just it releases, it gives like a release, and that is what makes the difference between someone ending his or her life, or going forward, making new steps, or if it's not okay that drastic, just being more motivated to keep going. And thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. I'm really glad you said that. And I want to highlight it again because I remember we filmed a hangout a while ago, well over a year, maybe even 2 years ago, with this woman called Jaya. Um, and we were having a discussion, and I asked her, when you're feeling this way, when you're feeling really down, what do you do? Like, what can people do if they're having all this, like, when you're feeling that way and you can feel it here, you can feel like the anxiety, you can feel this. What do you do? And she said one word. She said, cry. I cry out. And like it sounds so simple, but it helps, right? Like cry. Like it's that release. And especially we actually were just talking to a man who's been through some some difficult things in his life, and he said that he felt like as a man he felt it was necessary to keep it all to himself. He didn't want to speak to people. He had to be that man and like be the man of the household. I want to say for men especially too, cry. Even if you have to do it in on your own, have that release, talk to someone, men or women. But I know it's this thing about men feeling like they can't talk to someone, cry it out. It's like you're human. You're human. You'd be weird if you didn't, So I'm really glad you highlighted that. So thank you again.
We are like in the society, as women, I feel like we have permission to cry. And well, let's be honest, we use it to manipulate also, especially in arguments, which is not a good thing. But at least we have this vent, right? And for men, I think it's so much harder. I've seen it when I talk to families, especially men who also lost their children. For them, it was, I think, harder than for the women because they were supposed to be this rock that keeps everything together and that brings home the money and everything. And they can't do it. I mean, they also have the right to fall apart. And I needed years to understand it, because when I was in that situation, when we lost my ex-partner and I, when we lost a child, he was a mess. He couldn't do anything, just like I couldn't. But we somehow needed to survive, so I had to step up. He wasn't crying, but and only later I realized how difficult that must have been for him. And I found respect for him later on, but it doesn't have to be like that. And yesterday I went to the cemetery, right? I just go there, sometimes to my child's grave. And there was it's a cemetery for stillborn children. And there was a guy and he was crying, and they rarely you see a guy there, right? And I saw he was crying, and I was standing aside, and I was just there holding space for him. And I thought, wow, this is so powerful. Please just feel free to cry and express whatever difficulty you are feeling inside, because I know you're going through hell right now, you know. And we should have like more people helping also and encouraging men to express their feelings, right? Not just women, we kind of find a way to express it, but men maybe not so much.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important. It's really important. I think especially with this topic, this subject we're speaking about as well. So it's important to highlight that as well for the men, for the freedom lifestyle men out there too. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to ask a little bit, I mean, kind of to maybe change the subject a little bit, but you mentioned you're a spiritual healer is what you're doing?
No, spiritual life coaching.
Oh, spiritual life coaching. Okay.
Yes.
So I was going to ask a little bit along the lines of that because I don't want to ignore that that you're doing that. I think it's also very important. So I was going to ask about that. How I want to say, how do you go about doing that for people? That's probably not the best question to ask, but that's the only thing I can think of.
No, it's fine. So I feel like, you know, there needs to be structure to everything, and people need clarity, right? For no matter what we do, we need clarity. At least, well, I am the kind of person that has to have like, the steps, and then it's so much easier because if you have the steps, then you can just you follow them and you reach your goal, right? You get from A to B. So basically, what I do is show people how to get from A to B, right? No matter where they are, I show them the path. But so people nowadays are like wondering, well, how do I find my meaning, right? There are so many young out there, but not just young, like people in general, I feel like, that are so lost, and they would give anything, you know, to live the life that you two, for example, are living, you know, inspiring others and basically living the life of your dream, right? And but they don't know how to get there. Okay, so that is what where I come in, and I help them step by step. So first of all, you have to know where you're starting from, right? If you want to go to the B, you know what your A is, right? So we define where we are, and then I help people find their why, because without the why, you're not going to get far, right? You might go through one hurdle, two, maybe 20, but not, then you're going to stop, right? And this why, it's something that has to be for you, right? So, for example, I first wanted to survive for my parents because I didn't want them to experience the hell that I was going through. But I quickly realized that that was not, it was okay at first because it helped me push through, but that's not something that's going to fulfill me, right? So our why needs to be something for us. That is the only way that we are going to feel fulfilled once we get there, right? So I help people find their why, and then we just take all these steps that we have already talked about. So increasing self-awareness, becoming more aware of their mindset, so their inner dialogue, how to change it. Like, but it's not like, you know, from today till tomorrow you have to change everything. It's impossible, right? But well, when I was at my worst, I heard this thing, and it was, small steps will get you out of here. And I have this method I call Stepway, right? And steps, like little tiny steps, it doesn't matter how tiny they are, and you just apply. And with building a winning mindset, I feel this is also like the right way to go, right? So this is one thing I help people with. And then I also, building emotional intelligence. This is so important. I mean, without it, it's basically impossible to feel innerly fulfilled. Why? Well, because our head is like 20% of our whole body, and the rest is emotion, right? So we need, whether we want it or not, we need to learn, find a way how to manage our emotions. And that is what we do in the course as well. And then the purpose kind of unveils itself. Otherwise, if still they don't find it, I give them extra questions, and also I look into their past life to see what else there could be that they could apply. And one very, very important thing, and I think this is where my experience comes in very handy, is I teach people how to listen. And through listening, they can reconnect. And why is listening so powerful? Because, well, we need this inner guidance, right, to help us through life. And even if we have no one, we always have that inner voice, that inner guidance. You call it universe, God, whatever you want to call it. But if you don't hear that, then you're up for failure and probably worse, right? So I teach people how to listen to themselves. I teach people how to listen to the universe and all the signs that the universe is sending our way, and to read them and implement those signs, and to listen to other people. And once you become an excellent listener, well, that is something that you can very well use in business, in improving your relationship, in manifesting things like this, with helping you make decisions. It deepens your faith, it strengthens your belief in yourself and in others. It builds empathy, and it brings alignment. So, reconnection to yourself. And this is, let's say, the whole package of how we do it, but step by step, they can find it in my ebook. So we're gonna put the link below. It's called, I have it here. Can you see?
Yay!
Oh, it's so nice. Look at that.
Let's go.
Wow.
The Empowered Path, 7 indispensable steps to redesign your life with purpose and passion. So feel free to download it. And yes, if you have any questions, I am here gladly to answer them.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Wow, that is so incredible. I love that. I love that you're giving people the steps on how to do things, and really giving them, you're basically mapping out how this is where you're at. This is where you want to go. Let's go this way on this path. That's awesome. I love that. So ladies, we are getting too close to the end now. So I just wanted to ask you if you have any advice or any closing remarks you would like to make before we go to close up. Either one of you? Anybody?
Well, I just want to say that it's like the will of the universe expresses through each individual as a wish, right? And that wish, that inner calling, that's something that pulls you, even though you don't understand why, that is your purpose, that is your passion, right? And your purpose, it's not something you look for outside, it's within you. You don't have to find it, you just have to reveal it. And you can do it on your own, of course, with all the information online, but it will happen more quickly and more like easily and naturally if you get someone to help you with that. It doesn't have to be me. Find someone that you resonate with, and he can help you, or she, to just, live your calling and experience the best life that you were meant to have.
Absolutely. Really well said. I want to just second everything you just said, really, because it's true. If you have this vision for yourself, you have this goal, like, for example, like ever since I was young, I always knew I didn't want a 9 to 5. I would never saw myself in like an office job when I was young. So these visions you have for yourself, like Akshiti says this a lot from the team, shout out to Akshiti, is these were planted in you for a reason. That it's not just like, it's not random that you see yourself living this certain life. That's not random. That is for a reason, because that is what you're meant to be doing. And like you said, it's your, we said this earlier, it's your responsibility to get there. But in doing that, find someone that can help you get there. Have a mentor. This is really important. We have mentors. We have a coach. I can't express enough how important having a mentor is. Someone that has been through what you've been through, someone that can guide you in the right direction. So definitely all Andrea's links, social links, ebook is down below. Check it all out. I can't stress enough, and I hope you can feel how important it is to have someone like this. And like you so rightly said as well, remember your why. I feel like I sound like a broken record, because I think I say this every single episode. Have a why. This is so important. It's going to help you in carrying on when it gets hard. If you don't have a reason you're doing this, you're not going to carry on. So have a why. And if you're struggling with that, it can take a while to really think, what is my why? Like, why am I doing this? If you're struggling with that, your mentor can help you. Have someone. So that's my thing. Invest in yourself, time, money, energy into yourself. And what I'm really saying is follow Andrea. That's what I'm really saying. I'm being honest. But yes, thank you so much for being here. And that's my 2 cents.
That's awesome. Thank you, Josie. Thank you, Andrea, for being here. You guys keep saying have your why. You do need your why. Find your purpose. It is within you. I want to say you need to be kind to yourself, to others. Be willing to smile. Talk to your cat. Talk to your dogs. Talk to your plants. Go for a walk in the woods without your shoes on, no matter what the weather is. Find what works for you. But always, always, always love yourself. Be introspective. Look at what you're thinking and how it's making you feel. Find the perspective that shows you what's really there and allows you to change what's there if you don't like it. If you're not liking what you're seeing, change it, because you are the one in control with that. So with that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for being here on this episode, for tuning in. Comment, please comment. We love to hear what you guys have to say. We want to know what you guys want to see and hear about. Share the episodes, share the YouTube channel. We want to reach as many people as possible and help everybody be free, because that's what we all deserve it, right? So comment, share, subscribe, because it helps us reach more people. And with that being said, always keep learning. Welcome to the FLC family. Well, once you're family, you're family for life. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.